back to another video. If you guys are new here, I am Hannah and I am a veterinary technician student, also working full-time as a veterinary technician also working full-time as a veterinary tech assist at a small animal practice. If you guys haven't been here before, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to have a lot of great new content coming out soon about Penn Foster, my particular veterinary technician school program, and also I am hoping to talk about the veterinary nurse initiative a little bit as well. So if you guys are looking forward to that, then definitely go ahead and subscribe, and if you like this video, as always, just give it a thumbs up. Today I'm very excited because I am going to go over how my Apple Watch has helped me work on shift and kind of my tips if you're thinking about getting one and you're not sure if it's going to be super applicable to your work, or if you do have one and you want to know how to completely utilize it, then this video is for you. I got the 6th generation Apple Watch about a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that. I was a little unsure about it at first, but once I got it, I was super happy about it. I personally grew up with not a lot of money, and so we didn't have a lot of frivolous things like that. So getting one of these watches was very difficult for me to try to spend the money on myself. If you're watching this and thinking that I have tons of money or that I am super duper privileged to be able to get a watch, yes, I have worked very hard for my own money. I paid for this myself, and I have spent a lot of time to be able to spend my money on myself. I have been really enjoying it, and I just want to share these tips and tricks with you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Like, the first way that I utilize my watch at work is, first of all, just keeping it protected, because I went through a period of time where I did not have a case on it. I currently have a case on it, and so as you can see, this case is pretty slim. It allows the vent to stay opened, and it doesn't cover the back. It's actually adhered just with a thin strip of adhesive around the screen. And so I honestly really love these cases. When I first got my watch, I was worried about it looking clunky, but it's pretty nice. I also got it on Amazon. I'm trying to shop a little bit less just because, you know, support small businesses, but it was fairly cheap, and it is pretty high quality. So I would definitely recommend getting a case or like a protector for the screen, just because you are investing in yourself, and these little gadgets are pretty expensive, so you don't really want it to get crushed or scratched while you're at work. I have had it be scratched already. Within the couple of weeks I had it unprotected, and so that's why I definitely recommend a protector for this. The second thing I do recommend is getting one of these bands. One of the things I was worried about was just getting skin irritation under the band. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen or not. I do have sensitive skin, but I thought I would give it a shot, and I was using the band that it came with, and it was already starting to get dirty because it was like this really pretty rose color, and it was already starting to get dirty, and I was starting to get like red irritation under the band just because of how often I wash my hands and water would get trapped under there, and it would just continue to irritate my skin. So this one is totally customizable as far as how tight you want it to be. So it has all these little holes. It does come in different colors. I also got this on Amazon. I swear I'm not like sponsored by them. I get nothing out of this. Just want you guys to know how to save your skin from being irritated. You can also just, it's pretty easy to put on just like the other ones, but you can also change it so it's more comfortable for you. I personally just like it on this setting because it's loose, but it's not super loose. I liked that it was fairly cheap, and it's pretty sturdy, and it actually hasn't really gotten dingy. I've been wearing this band for several weeks, like if not a month and a half, 2 months at this point. So I'm very surprised that it's still white. It did also, you know, just get covered in urine yesterday after we were recovering an anesthetic patient, and I washed it and it doesn't smell and it's completely clean, so I'm very impressed with that. The third thing I do recommend are having different faces for your watch. So this one I have here, it's called the Modular Screen, and so if you hold down, it'll show you the different screens that you have, and I'll go over these ones. But this one shows me the time, it shows me the date, and these are all customizable. So if you hold it down and click edit, and you swipe over to complications, you can change what all these little things do. This is just the way I have it set up to work for me. I have the day and the like the day of the week and the number of the month it is, just because I lose track of what day it is and what number day it is as well pretty frequently. The second thing I have on there is my calendar. So this has things on here. Most often it's my partner's schedule. This is on my partner's schedule. He has a final exam today in his course, and I just keep that on there. That way I can keep in mind what he's doing at the moment. I am currently in a relationship with somebody who is in a medical master's program, which is essentially, or it's very similar to the first year of medical school, and I've put a lot of time and effort into learning how to go about our relationship just to make sure that we are on the same page. But you know, if you have a lot of different things you need to do throughout the day, you can put those on there. I just find it very, very helpful and a great reminder to show me what I'm going to be doing or what my partner is going to be doing later on. The other things I have down here, I have, sorry, keep clicking on that. I have the little breathe module. Well, it says the last time I did a breathing exercise was on the 3rd. But basically what this is just a little reminder to help you be mindful throughout your shift. I often find that it reminds me when I'm anxious to breathe, which I find really helpful, because even if I don't have the moment to do the little breathing module at that moment, it does remind me that I am stressed for whatever particular reason, and that I just need to be brought back to my center and just remember that I'm going to get through whatever I'm doing, whether that's working with a difficult patient. It just kind of reminds me to be a little bit more mindful about my situation, which is a very hard thing to do, especially at my job as a veterinary tech assist. It's just super busy, super quick pace. So if I have those little reminders that say remember to breathe, I just find that it's helpful. And the second thing I have is my activity. I just do this because I'm honestly interested to see how much I move and how many calories I burn throughout the day. So it's cool to see, to look down and see if I need to stand up more. Honestly, this is more for if I'm studying or if I'm at home. You can tell I am definitely not at work today because I have usually almost closed all my rings at this point in my day. If I was at work. So that's the second module I have on this screen. And then the third is a calculator, of course. So I find this extremely useful because I don't need to carry a calculator in my pocket with this. I do like triple check my calculations. One, because I am just super anal about that, but B, because this is a very small screen. So it's really easy to press the wrong buttons and get the wrong calculation, so I am just always triple checking. The other watch face I have is this one. This is the one that I use to take TPRs or vitals on my patients. I have the calculator up here, and then I also have a timer up here. I'll get into the timer in a minute because that's honestly one of the biggest things I use my watch for, is a timer. But I do really like this watch face because if you turn it away, or if you put your palm over it, it'll kind of put it into like sleep mode, so it's not as active, which has its pros and its cons. Whenever it is sleeping, if you do like, or did it that time of course, but if you do like a gentle, of course it's not going to do it, but if you do, okay, so typically if it's like this, and I do a gentle motion like this to wake it up, if I'm like have a patient in my arms and I'm trying to get vitals, it won't wake up. And so sometimes it gets a little annoying because I have to really like crank my wrist to get it to turn on sometimes. but if you also just tap it, it'll, the second hand will pop back up. So yeah, you can just tap it and then the second hand will start showing. And it also shows the day in this module right there, and it also shows the day of the week and also the day of the month down there. So, oh, and also if you tap on it, apparently it brings up your calendar. I didn't know that part. But yeah, so that's the second watch face I have. The third is this watch face. I don't use this one as much. It's really similar to this face, but it has my activity on there. I think honestly I put that on there as a mistake one day. This other one I was using for the second hands, but it was getting really confusing, and then I found this one and I like this one way better. So these are the two that I use the most. And it's really easy because you can just swipe in between them, and it's so simple and so easy to be able to take vitals on pets like this. The last one that I have is to set alarms for things. Honestly, I feel like I've become a lot better managing time once I got this watch, because it's so easy to just hold down the spinner and you can set a timer just by saying, start timer for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
And there we go. You have a timer going. So it'll also automatically go up here to this timer screen. So you can just click this and you can click cancel. And it'll tell you your recents, and you can go down to custom. And also sometimes if you click on it, it'll also do automated increments. Oh, here it is. So these are the automated increments, which are super easy. I just feel like, honestly, having a timer so close to me, like on my wrist, literally makes me be more aware of time, because, for instance, we do fecals in-house at the place that I work at currently, and I have never done fecals before in-house, so it's still very new to me to try to keep in mind that I need to start running the fecal and then go back to my doctor's appointment in the room and keep my doctor on time. And it can be difficult because ideally you want to have the fecal going while you're in the room and then have the results given to the owner by the time they leave. And our appointments are 30 minutes, so it can be difficult to keep up with that time. So one of the ways that I've utilized this watch is by putting something in the centrifuge or putting a fecal in the centrifuge, starting a timer for 10 minutes, because that is how long we spin our fecals down since we do centrifugation. And then after that, I will run back. I'll put the cover slip on a slide and I'll read it really quickly, and then I'll just pop back into the room. And so that helps me stay on time and be more resourceful. I also think that this is so important for when we have sick patients in the hospital and I'm one of the assistants on the floor or helping in charge of that patient. It really helps me keep on time on their treatments. So if I know that one of my patients is going to be due for something, say at 3:45, I can set a timer for 1 hour. I can even set a timer for 55 minutes. That way I have 5 minutes to wrap up whatever I'm doing and get to the patient. I find that this also really comes in handy if you're doing timed tests on patients in hospital as well, because we all know that we will set a timer in treatment for something and you come back and someone has turned the timer off, its batteries have died, God knows what else, but people will just hear a timer going off and then turn it off without figuring out what it's for. And so I feel like this timer has just saved me so much trouble in the long run. And honestly, that was one of the things I was most excited about, because even if I'm on a doctor, and meaning that I'm checking in their patients for the day, I can just set a timer for, or an alarm for their next appointment. And so I'll come up here to alarms, and as you can see, I have the strangest timers, or alarms. I don't even know when I have an alarm at 8:09 p.m. and also a timer at 10 p.m. I don't know what that was for. But as you can see, I have a bunch of strange alarms, and I just feel like it really helps me stay on track. And there's a bunch of other things you can have in here as well. I have quite a few apps. Quite honestly, I don't use a lot of them. But yeah, there's a bunch of other things you can use it for as well. Like I believe there's a stopwatch in here. I don't really use the stopwatch. I guess you could use the stopwatch if you were looking at how many like preventricular contractions a patient is having in a minute or something like that where you need to time a minute. I guess you could do that. Or if you're testing the space between two different things that a patient is having, like PVCs, I guess that's the only example I can think of. But yeah, I was apprehensive about getting an Apple Watch for a while, and then they released their 6th generation, and my boyfriend showed me his and how he uses his, and I was just really excited because I felt like this could really add some productivity. I'm not saying that you need to have a special watch like this or you need to have an Apple Watch in order to be productive, but if you do have an Apple Watch, I feel like using these modules or maybe just keeping track of, you know, these things that the Apple Watch can do can definitely help you stay on track, help you be more productive, and help you cut a few seconds out of the daily things that you do. So those are all my tips for the moment about how I use my Apple Watch to be more productive at work and to help me become more productive at work. So if you guys like this video or if you guys have any tips of your own, please feel free to comment down below. I will also put a link in my video description of all the things that I talked about today, like the screen protector and the watch band, and I'll just link something about this series of the watch down below. I do feel like it's pretty similar to the other watches. My significant other has a Series 5 and it's pretty much the same thing. If you guys have any questions or if you guys want to reach out to me on my social media, please feel free to. I have my Instagram handle down below, and if you guys are in Penn Foster, go ahead and stay tuned. I would highly recommend for you to subscribe. I mean, because I'm biased, but also because I have some content coming out about Penn Foster and the program, what it looks like, and I'm also going to be doing a Q&A about how I have used Penn Foster to become the successful person I am. Not that I am the most successful person in the field or anything like that, but I have had to build up my career from scratch, and so I did move cross country and get a job right away, so I feel like I have to have some skill in order to do that, but I'll go ahead and talk about that in one of my next videos, so go ahead and stay tuned. I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.